I've been with you since day one. Savage, I ain't even hate. So what's up with all that Instagram shit? Savage, I was just playing. Y'all pussy nigga faking. Bitch, I hang around them Haitians.
Damn, if he reacts like that when people leave comments on an Instagram post? Jeez, imagine if I made a whole episode about him. Okay, let's see what's next on my Patreon key. Fuck. Hi, I'm the Rap Critic, and y'all motherfuckers are gonna get me killed. Okay, but seriously, this was a Patreon request by Eric Danielson, and if you'd like to request a song to review, preferably from an artist that takes criticism a little better than this guy apparently does, go here for more information. So today, we're about to get into some old gangsta shit. And I don't mean like the shouting, puffing out his chest firebrand typecast that have become a cliche in hip-hop. I mean that lackadaisical, devil-may-care gangster who doesn't give a shit about theatrics or presentation. Just look at him. He doesn't exactly seem interested in showmanship. It looks like any of the dancing and acting that takes place in the video was done begrudgingly and without much energy. Now, I expect you think I might automatically not like this guy, but he's okay. Doesn't exactly look like the type of guy who loses sleep thinking about ways to master his craft as an artist, but you know, he's a guy who makes music exactly parallel to how he lives. And if you like it, you like it. But he is concerned about one thing and one thing only. Being real.
Why you pulling all these rappers' cards? Cutty nigga, pussy, and I'm hard. I'm a real street nigga, bitch. I am not one of these niggas banging on whack. I listened to your raps, thought you was hard. You ain't even street for real.
He is specifically unsatisfied with the artificiality of rappers in the mainstream that he's listened to. And I think that plays into the fact that, well, basically every new generation of artists across every medium is trying in some way to figure out how to be more realistic than the artists before them. And in a lot of hip-hop, that mainly translates into who really sounds like they could fuck you up. And to me, that feels like 21 Savage's main draw concerning his fan base, especially in his mildly inflected delivery that doesn't come off as bored as much as like a low growl, like a protective dog that's warning you not to come any closer.
Young Savage, why you trapping so hard? I'm praying to my Glock and my car.
And I can actually appreciate the meaning behind a lyric like this. Finding no solace in the idea of a higher power that's truly looking out for him, and instead seeing the power and respect given to you through ownership of guns, and seeing that as your true lord and literal savior.
I sit back and read like head in the head.
Look, I know he's trying to say that he like reads people really easy, but with the way it's worded, it sounds like he's starting off a gangster rap song by reading children's literature. I mean, you know people are probably already throwing jabs at you for dropping out of school and being on that ignorant street shit. Don't give them any more joke material by indicating that your reading level hasn't progressed past Dr. Seuss books.
Keep shooting until somebody die. So many shots, the neighbor looked at the calendar, thought it was 4th of July.
Okay, I'll give him props for some grave imagery here. What? What's all that popping outside? Oh, it must be that time of the year where we celebrate the... Oh, this is definitely not a time for celebration.
7th grade, I got caught with a pistol. Sent me to Pantherville. 8th grade, started playing football. Then I was like, fuck the field.
Now, here are a few lines that I appreciate for their specificity of his life, but lyrics that I also found lacking once I found out more about him. See, this did actually happen. He was caught with a gun in 7th grade, and they took him out of school and put him in one for troubled kids. But it's what he doesn't say that I think would make a better song. It's not that one day he just decided he was a gangster and wanted to bring a gun into class because he's just that hardcore. No, he says in interviews that he did it because other kids were trying to threaten and intimidate him first, and he responded by getting a gun to protect himself, most likely because he didn't feel like he was in an environment where he could rely on adults to care about him getting bullied, so he had to take matters into his own hands. And yes, I know the typical idea of school shooting makes us think a kid with a gun's intentions are purely to attack, but from his description it feels more like he was trying to defend himself than actively attack others. But unfortunately, most adults in this situation are quick to think, he has a gun, must be a bad seed, get him out of here immediately. Which is understandable. I mean, there aren't a lot of news stories about a kid bringing a gun to school and not shooting somebody. But if a kid is doing it to defend himself and not actively commit a mass shooting, what that kid really needs is an adult who cares enough about his situation to talk to him about the conditions that are bringing him to that point. Not saying I'd do it though, fuck that, I want to live. But seriously, if you're invested in teaching children, you should also be alert and sensitive to their development, especially in neighborhoods with gang violence. And maybe this line could have led to just a hint of how violence begets violence, and how if you're born into a shitty environment, in order to survive, you quickly adapt to its rules. Not saying you need to make an after-school special or anything, but just that little extra included information can make a more flavorful story to be interested in. As it stands though, yeah, it's hardcore, but without the detail that really could make it mean something.
Fast forward, nigga, 2016, and I'm screaming, fuck a deal.
Yeah, you know what, I can respect that. Keeping it independent, even in light of your fame. Not letting any labels... Okay, never mind.
Bad bitch with me, she's so thick, I don't even need a pill.
Yeah, she's so thick and sexy, you don't even need Viagra. Although, you're like 23, so you That shouldn't even be an issue, really, in the first place. Is it? You know what? That was a stupid question. I don't want to know the answer to that.
Come on, man, Savage, you know I always play your mixtape. Yeah, nigga, fuck all that. Ask your bitch how my dick tastes.
Okay, that's pretty funny. I know it's a rhetorical question meant to convey the fact that he's a player who can get your girl to cheat on you with him, but I just love how absurd a request it is. And the fact that he barely even says it in rhythm to the song just punctuates the delivery of such a mean-spirited kiss-off. I don't think I've ever heard someone so earnestly sound like they do not give a shit.
Chain swinging, diamonds bling. Hold up.
Wait, why'd he say hold up there? What, did he also notice that it's a little odd to have a music video bragging about wearing expensive chains while not wearing expensive chains?
Niggas acting like groupies, they don't know us. Little do they know they bitches fucking on the tour bus.
And of course he had to end it with another taking your girlfriend bit. Seriously guys, is this like a requirement for rap songs? Can you not be content with sex by itself? Does it have to be at the expense of another man? Does anyone else find it weird that they're always thinking about the other men that have had sex with these women? Whatever, okay, overall I give it a 3 out of 5. It's got enough to make it an interesting listen the first time, especially when he does the other voice of the fake hater, but for the most part, it's a very empty song from a guy that seems like he just doesn't care that much. And while it certainly does feel more authentic than a lot of too cool to care rappers out nowadays, that doesn't automatically make it more enjoyable, at least not for me. I can see him either going into more hard-hitting descriptions of reality or being more wild and ridiculous with his wordplay to make it more palatable for repeated listens. But after listening to his Savage Mode album, currently I feel like he's a bit in the middle. Unpolished, sure, and maybe that raw element is what people like, but if there's not enough focus and expansion, I see people getting tired of his presentation really easily. Well, I'm the Rap Critic. You don't have to like my opinion, but I don't have to like your song.